Imagine it's 2:30 in the morning. You're dead asleep, and all of a sudden you're awake because you hear at your front door a knock. Just a steady knock. You get up. Maybe you check your Ring monitor, or you peek out through a window or a curtain, side curtain, or you look through a peephole. And what you see is there's two kids, approximately 10 years of age, standing right outside your front door. You open the door because you think, hey, maybe these are some kids in peril. Maybe there was an accident. You don't know. So you open up the door and you ask them, is everything okay? Are you kids okay? And instead of answering your question, they simply say, let us in to use your phone. Or let us in so we can wait on our parents. But they're basically beseeching you to let them inside your house. And then you begin to notice that their tone of voice is very monotonish, and their clothes may seem very outdated, and something is just off about these kids. And so then it happens. First of all, you kind of start to get in the creeps by the whole thing, and then they look up at you, and where their eyes should normally be like normal everybody eyes, these are simply just black. No cornea showing, just black eyes. This is the phenomenon known as the black-eyed kids. And today we're going to go down this rabbit hole on Magnet Paranormal Talk.
Take a trip down the rabbit hole. Take a trip down, down, down. Take a trip down the rabbit hole. Take a trip down, down, down the rabbit hole. I'll travel down the rabbit hole, unraveled. Don't look at the paranoid people.
This all started when I was researching things that had happened to me, and I started looking at various different phenomenon that I had experienced and looking to see, hey, has anybody else ever had this same thing happen to them? And one thing leads to another, and it's just a matter of time. If you do any type of paranormal research, you're gonna run into some stuff that is so crazy and so seemingly absurd that it's hard to even wrap your head around it. And it wasn't very long before, when I first initiated this, that I ran into the story of the black-eyed kids. And I'll be honest with you, it freaked my ass out. I was like, what in the hell is this about? Because it's just a crazy thing. So, like I said, the thing that these black-eyed kids all have in common, all these stories, all these reported sightings and these cases that people have investigated, they all have some similarities. One is the obvious, that the eyes are weird and that they're all black. Some people say that they look like holes, just black holes where eyes should be. But most people will say that they're like regular eyes, except for there's just no cornea. They're just pitch black. Second thing was the age thing I mentioned, which is they're usually somewhere between 8 to 12 years old. They're always seen in these outdated clothes that, seem like sometimes like from the 50s or the 60s, something like that. The monotone voice, which comes across as very cold, and often people say that they have very pale skin. So the behaviors of the black-eyed kids is pretty consistent too, in that there's the slow, steady knock I mentioned before, and they hide their faces, and they always ask to be let inside. I have probably listened to about 50 of these stories of people's experiences with the black-eyed kids. And sometimes it's they want to get in your car. You may be out in the middle of nowhere and suddenly see these two kids somewhere, and you pull over, make sure they're okay, and they just want to get in your car with you. And so that's one of the common behaviors you've seen of these things, and they can get quite irritated when you're not cooperating with them too, is something that I've heard back to back over and over again. As far as the phenomenon is concerned, it's probably best documented by author David Weatherly, who found reported cases dating back to the 1940s and 50s, but suspects that this dates back even much further than that. Basically thinking that maybe this has been around as long as we have. So that in itself is pretty crazy. He started off as a skeptic when he was writing his book, and by the end of doing all the research and compiling all this, he pretty much, confesses to being a believer. There has been sightings reported in damn near everywhere: Europe, Australia, South America, and especially the United States. So where in the United States? Well, basically just about everywhere. But there are clusters reported in Texas, Florida, California, and unfortunately the Midwest, which is kind of from Kansas City, and Kansas City, dead center of the Midwest. So knock on wood, but not steady knock, that I never have to see that. And here's the thing, is that there are tons of credible witnesses that have come forth to share their stories about this phenomenon and these experiences. And this includes military personnel and police officers. So there may be something to this that we're not really prepared for, because I tell you, of all the crazy things I've heard, this is probably the creme de la creme of crazy phenomenon. The other one was probably Dogman, but we'll save that for another day. Okay, something I forgot to mention is what to do if you should have one of these encounters. Well, first thing, remain calm. Well, as calm as you can possibly be, because I have a belief that these things, whatever they are, if they're real, I think they feed on fear and how we react to things. So remain calm. Don't freak out. I think that's the better solution. Easier said than done. Second thing is, under no circumstances do you allow them access to your home or vehicle. And the weird thing is that so many of these stories that I found, which hopefully you'll take a look at some of these down below, a lot of them involve people getting sick, or people in proximity to the event getting sick. So there's more than one reason for not wanting to allow these black-eyed kids into your home or to your car. Your own health should be one of those top priority reasons. So lastly, I think you should secure your doors and windows. If you had that doorbell ring at 2:30 in the morning, and it's you that gets up out of bed, and this is what you see out on your front porch, you answer the door, and then you see that they don't have normal eyes; they got just black eyes. Yeah, I think securing the house would be in order, and then researching what to do beyond what I'm telling you. So something to keep in mind. So I've included a few of my favorite stories and sites that have talked about the black-eyed kids in the comments down below. I'm encouraging you to get down this rabbit hole yourself. Find out what you think. Just do 5 videos. I've got 10 listed below, but check out 5 of them. They'll do a much better job of telling these individual stories than I will. Take a look at those, and if you come back, leave a comment on what you think. Is it a bunch of bullshit? Is there maybe something to it? Or do you think this is a plausible thing that could be out there? I'll tell you, my personal assessment is that I hope it's not true. That's all I'm going to say, is I hope this is a bunch of bullshit. Because if it's real, oh damn, that's some crazy stuff. So watch a few of these, and then let me know what you think. See ya. I've been trying to think about some stuff that I want to cover, and I just want to do them because I probably need to get it out of my system. And it's nothing that, it's nothing I've had any experience with. But the black-eyed children.
Yeah. I mean, and we've talked about black-eyed children since I was yay high,
Yeah.
since I was yay high. So that's been a subject.